Now, enter in legend Lisa Leslie, because she is talking about Caitlin Clark shutting it down.
So Lisa Leslie was commenting during the game yesterday. She wouldn't put Caitlin Clark back out there this season.
All of this success, every bit of it, is due to the presence of one player in the league, and that is a generational talent named Caitlin Clark.
I would not put Caitlin Clark back on the floor this season.
It is looking very, very likely that Caitlin Clark is going to return.
Lisa Leslie, she is talking about Caitlin Clark shutting it down.
Just minutes ago, Lisa Leslie has just sent a shocking warning to Caitlin Clark, telling her to quit before the WNBA completely turns on her. What does this mean for Clark's future in the league?
Now, enter in legend Lisa Leslie, because she is talking about Caitlin Clark shutting it down. Shutting it down. By the way, Fever 11-13 without Caitlin Clark. Yikes.
Now, enter in legend Lisa Leslie, because she is talking about Caitlin Clark shutting it down. Shutting it down. By the way, Fever 11-13 without Caitlin Clark. She could provide an amazing boost. But again, I'm just going to put my coach's hat on, my GM hat on.
I think it's all about money, marketing, and we cannot deny what Caitlin Clark has done for the women's game. I'm not going to act like it's something that we don't see. She's had a huge effect. Call it the Caitlin Clark effect. Yes, have we ever had teams have to get into larger arenas to play against a team? No, we have not. So if we have more eyeballs on the game and Caitlin Clark brings that, why would we feel some kind of way because she has more television games?
Lisa pointed out that at the end of the day, it all comes down to business. She admitted you can't ignore the massive impact Caitlin Clark has had on women's basketball. The Caitlin Clark effect is real. Teams are even being moved into bigger arenas just because she's the opponent. With more fans watching and more TV games being scheduled thanks to her presence, Lisa questioned why anyone in the league would feel bitter about that.
I'm just thinking, me personally, I would not put Caitlin Clark back on the floor this season. And the only reason why I say that is because I had the injury that she had.
You want to see Caitlin Clark for the longevity of her career. I'm just thinking, me personally, I would not put Caitlin Clark back on the floor this season. That deep groin injury is nothing to play around with.
So Lisa Leslie was commenting during the game yesterday at halftime.
I'm just thinking, me personally, I would not put Caitlin Clark back on the floor this season.
So Lisa Leslie was commenting during the game yesterday at halftime. This is what she had to say. She said she wouldn't put Caitlin Clark back out there this season.
All of this success, every bit of it, is due to the presence of one player in the league, and that is a generational talent named Caitlin Clark.
All of this success, every bit of it, is due to the presence of one player in the league, and that is a generational talent named Caitlin Clark.
I was watching TNT, and they were saying Caitlin Clark was the most famous basketball player under 30, boy or girl. And I was like, what? No way. And then I thought about it. I agreed, and everyone on the panel agreed.
Lisa Leslie talked about her own experience dealing with the same kind of injury. She explained how it lingers, how it takes months to fully heal, and how rushing back could end up hurting Clark's entire career.
It's a bitch. It's a nagging ass injury, and it keeps popping up on you. And you're like, oh, I've got it solved. And then 4 months later, boom, it's back like it never went away.
Leslie basically warned the Fever that they might be sacrificing Clark's future if they force her to play now.
That right there. She's still a young player, and, she has a lot of development. All that was bullshit right there. Everything else, genuine.
Lisa Leslie said during the broadcast that if it was up to her, she would not bring Caitlin Clark back this year. That groin injury is no joke.
She could provide an amazing boost. But again, I'm just going to put my coach's hat on, my GM hat on,
Risking her future just for one playoff push isn't worth it. She was very clear that the Fever need to think long-term, not just about this season.
Players ranked Caitlin Clark the 9th best guard in the WNBA.
9?
Lisa Leslie emphasized that the WNBA can be unforgiving, especially when a young star is carrying the weight of the league on her shoulders.
Had the injury that she had. That deep groin injury is nothing to play around with.
She warned that Clark has already been under pressure from opponents, media, and even her own organization.
I mean, personally, I feel like the way they playing, she come back, bro, because no one's thinking about this, right?
Adding the risk of a serious injury on top of that is why Leslie says shutting her down is the best move.
That deep groin injury is nothing to play around with. It can feel like you've never had it. You make one move, one cut.
If they get the 8th spot and you get into the playoffs, is it really worth looking at Minnesota round 1? I don't know.
Hang her up. Now, a lot of people, man, like I said, I've been seeing this, guys. I've been seeing a lot of people online speak about this situation with Caitlin Clark not coming back this year.
I've been seeing a lot of people online speak about this situation with Caitlin Clark not coming back this year.
You know, if that was to happen in the playoffs, she might miss all of next year. That could happen, in theory.
If that was to happen in the playoffs, she might miss all of next year. That could happen in theory.
The problem is that the Fever aren't really going to go live in practice for the rest of the year because they don't have that many days off.
The rumor is when it came to the Lynx game, it was literally just a case of her ankle injury setting her back another couple of weeks.
Man, I mean, it would be lovely to get her back, but we care about Caitlin Clark playing basketball for a very, very, very long time.
It would be lovely to get her back, but we care about Caitlin Clark playing basketball for a very, very long time. And so, you don't want her to return unless she's 100% healthy.
Several months ago, I covered the many cheap shots that Clark has had to deal with on the court. Some of these cheap shots look they look a lot like criminal assault, but of course they aren't prosecuted.
There's been a lot of resentment in this league lately, in particular since the season began.
If that thing rips real bad, it turns into she could be gone for a season.
You don't want her to rip that groin off the bone, because then she's gone for an entire season.
Caitlin's almost certainly not coming back against the Mercury. She might come back against the Bucks.
Because she couldn't ramp it up, that's why Clark is still not back. This constant delay has added even more pressure on her return.
I'm thinking about more so from the player perspective of the pressure that Caitlin Clark is facing, getting back on the court.
The pressure that Caitlin is facing just to get back on the court is real.
Also talked about the many champions of diversity in the media who are strangely very unhappy about the diversity that Clark has brought to the WNBA, a league that is mostly made up of black players.
And the thing about resentment, as we all know, is that it tends to fester over time. That's exactly what we're seeing now, as the league seems to be turning on Caitlin Clark.
That's exactly what we're seeing now. Now that the season is winding down, the playoffs are underway.
Now that the season is winding down and the playoffs are underway, race hysteria in the WNBA has somehow reached yet another inflection point.
Right now. Who is everyone enjoying watching? Caitlin Clark. I love her intensity. I love that. Obviously, she's a young player and still has so much, development ahead of her. But
so what with that? But remember, I'm a big believer of that. When you say but, everything you said before that was bullshit.
Lisa Leslie's comments hit harder because the Fever are trying to push for the playoffs without their star. Everyone knows without Caitlin Clark, they don't stand a chance.
I think it's just the urgency to play basketball is probably, you know what I'm saying? And then her hurting her ankle, which we all already know that was a whole nother saga in itself.
But forcing her back early could mean sacrificing her long-term future just for a short playoff run.
So Caitlin Clark, fan rank 1, media rank 3, player rank 9.
Clark is already under enormous pressure from fans, media, and her organization. The Fever want her back to save their season.
Lisa Leslie is actually speaking about this entire thing because come to find out, WNBA legend Lisa Leslie actually had the same injury Caitlin Clark is dealing with right now.
Leslie explained that the playoffs are tempting, but it's about more than one season.
Boom, she's back in the same spot. I don't know that it's worth risking it. If they get the 8th spot and you get into the playoffs, is it really worth looking at Minnesota round 1? I don't know. That's just my opinion. What you think?
If Clark re-injures herself now, she could miss not just the postseason, but an entire year. That's why Leslie kept stressing that the Fever must think beyond just this playoff push.
Over the past week or two, race hysteria in the WNBA has somehow reached yet another inflection point.
The league is in the middle of a contrived racism scandal, and it's creating even more tension around Caitlin Clark as she carries the weight of the league.
They was picking her up full court in the All-Star game, and then you gonna say she's 9. You picking her up full court in the All-Star game.
Lisa Leslie warned that one wrong move could derail her entire career. That's the bigger question. Should Caitlin Clark risk it all for the playoffs or protect her future?
Do we have a chance to win the championship? That's the question that has to be asked.
You're going to be in the playoffs on more than likely if you win one of those last 3 games, which they're not going to lose all 3. They're not going to lose 6 games in a row at the end of the year. They just need one more win to pretty much guarantee the playoffs.
Man, I mean, it would be lovely to get her back, but we care about Caitlin Clark playing basketball for a very, very, very long time. And so you don't want her to return unless she's 100% healthy.
Over the past week or two, race hysteria in the WNBA has somehow reached yet another inflection point.
Do we have a chance to win the championship at all if you come back? This is not a deep team anymore. They just need one more win to pretty much guarantee the playoffs. But the real question is, should Caitlin Clark risk it? We care about Caitlin Clark playing basketball for a very, very long time. You don't want her to return unless she's 100% healthy. The resentment in this league has only gotten worse. And now, it feels like the WNBA itself is turning against Caitlin Clark. Leslie basically warned the Fever that they might be sacrificing Clark's future if they force her to play now. Lisa Leslie has given her warning. But what do you think? Should Caitlin Clark risk it all or step away? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more updates.